through all the.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Joel and welcome again to my vlog. So for today's video, we're going to talk about the books that I bought from the latest Book Binge Bazaar that happened here in Cebu. For those of you who don't have any idea what is Book Binge Bazaar, Book Binge Bazaar is actually a spin-off of Big Bad Wolf, but this is facilitated by National Bookstore, one of the biggest chain bookstores here in the Philippines. And Book Binge Bazaar has been happening already for a couple of years, I think 1 or 2 years, and it's always happening in Manila. So this is actually the first time that the second time, because the first time they bought Book Binge Bazaar outside Metro Manila was in Davao a couple of weeks before Cebu. And then when I've heard that they'll be going to Cebu, I was so excited. The main reason for that, because the books sold during the Book Binge Bazaar are really cheap. If you're asking how cheap the books are, for example, the normal price range of the brand new paperback books are around 450 to 600 pesos, and the paperback books in Book Binge Bazaar are only around 125 pesos. And for the hardback covers book, normally, for example, I bought the Illumini files for around 900 to 1,000 pesos. I bought the another example is I bought Muse of Nightmares for 1,100 pesos. And actually, the average prices of your hardback covers are from 600 and to 1,200. It depends. So it is not always below 600. It's typically around 600 and above. The average are around 800 pesos. But the hardback covers, brand new hardback covers that are sold in Book Binge Bazaar are only 175 pesos. That is for young adult. And for the adult books, they are around 275 pesos. The adult books are composed mainly of your non-fiction, which are your self-help, cookbooks, etc. So, and yeah, adult books is more expensive than young adults, but only for 100 pesos. And if we're going to compare Book Binge Bazaar and Big Bad Wolf, Book Binge Bazaar by National Bookstore is actually cheaper than Big Bad Wolf, because the average prices of Big Bad Wolf paperbacks are around 190 compared to Book Binge Bazaar, which is 125, while the hardbound covers of your Big Bad Wolf are around 230 to 290 pesos, which is 175 of Book Binge Bazaar is actually really cheap compared to that. Lastly, also Book Binge Bazaar are selling, aside from the young adult and adult books, they are also selling children's book or middle grade books for as low as 75 pesos. Yes, Book Binge Bazaar is selling 75 pesos books. So yeah, that's the main reason why I'm so excited that they came here in Cebu. So Book Binge Bazaar Cebu by National Bookstore happened November 21 to November 25, 2018, which are just days ago or a week ago. Yeah, just days ago, because today is November 28th. Actually trying to decide if I'm going to film now or I'll just do it on the weekend, but I can't sleep and I'm so stressed, since this is my way of de-stressing and I can't really focus on the things that I need to complete in my grad school and my work. So before I start doing my task, I need to de-stress. So this is my way of de-stressing. In my National Bookstore Book Binge Bazaar Cebu 2018, I hold a total of 20 books. That is, these are 3 non-fiction books and then 17 young adult books. So without further ado, this is my 2018 Book Binge Bazaar Cebu book haul. First book that I have is a young adult fiction, and this is Walk on Earth, a Stranger. Walk on Earth, a Stranger. This is a very weird title. I actually almost did not pick this one up because it's very girly, but I saw the awards at the back, and then that did not convince me. But when I saw that the third book of the trilogy, who just came out last year, is also available for 175, this is actually 125, I decided to really pick this one up. So I just need to get the second one, which is, I don't know the titles, for me to complete the trilogy. So the third book of the trilogy is Into the Bright Unknown by Ray Carson. I actually got this on the first day. I was actually there, probably one of the first customers. I waited talaga sa line, and I was actually one of the first 100 customers to enter SM Cebu, and then etc. So I got this, but I almost did not pick this one up. So yeah, the next book that I have is the main reason for this because I saw this one featured by one of the vloggers or book vloggers that I follow here in YouTube. I forgot the name of the channel. And this is We All Look Up. I find this interesting even though it has very bad reviews in Goodreads, but I actually don't trust the Goodreads reviews because it's several times that I've read a very very good book or books that I like that has a very very bad reviews in Goodreads. So for this one, it has a very bad review, but after reading the premise or the synopsis, it reminds me of what book was that? The Age of Miracles. It reminds me of The Age of Miracles. These are a set of 5 teenagers or a group of friends. This is the Ashari. This is the Ashari. This is the Ashari. Sorry. This is an end of the world. This is happened weeks before the world will end. So this group of teenagers are trying to decide what are they going to do with the remaining time of their life. So yeah, quite interesting. And this is on my TBR, but I will not be reading this anytime soon. Probably next year now. The next book that I have is I've been eyeing to buy this book for a couple of years ago. This is The House of Scorpion by Nancy Farmer. And look at the awards. This is a very this was published years ago, so there's already a second book, The Lord of Opium, which is on sale on National Bookstore Ayala. So I'll be going there probably this weekend to get the second book for me to complete the series. This is, I don't really know anything about this except that the main character was genetically, you know, made, so he's not a natural. So he's trying to look for or discover or identify himself, who he really is, what's his purpose in this world. So yeah, this one. The next book that I have here is this is a very very new book. This was published last year, and this is Ibizu Boys American Street. This is a very very good book, and I was surprised nobody was picking this one. For this price of 175, it's hardbound about the protagonist, a Jamaican girl trying to live in America, trying to adjust. So there will be conflicts of culture, discovering yourself, etc. So yeah, I actually bought 3 non-fiction books. These are The Myth of Leadership. It's only 175 pesos, even though it's an adult, which is surprising. I picked this one up because as I skimmed the content, I found that it quite interested me. I was quite interested in the things that there are actually 2 types of leadership: the peer leadership and what was the other one? I need to read this one. And I think I can really apply this in my job. So also got the well-being, the 5 essential elements. I don't know, this is such a good bargain for adult and self-help. It talks about career well-being, social well-being, financial well-being, physical well-being, community well-being. So this is a book that I can see myself reading 10 years from now or 5 years from now. So this will be part of my collection, and I'll be reading this in the future. Probably if I have the mood, I can read this anytime sooner. Yeah. And the last non-fiction book that I have is something to do with my job again. I picked this one up, is Circa Smart. This is for 275 pesos. This is, I think, the most expensive book that I got from the Book Binge Bazaar book haul. I got this even though it's very pricey because I can totally apply this in my job. It's about helping new individuals who are fresh graduate or it's their first time to have a job. So how are they going to adjust to their workplace? How are they going to deal with people older than them or people who are more experienced than them in the workplace? So it talks about why learning beats knowing in the new game, why newcomers can even be more efficient in their job compared to those who have been working in that company for a very long time. So yeah, it's very interesting and it's very short, and I picked this because I know I'll be learning a lot of things from this one. The next book that I have here is actually one of my auto-buy authors. This is the main reason why I really lined up early in the morning on the first day of Book Binge Bazaar, which is November 21, for me to get this because I saw this in the Book Binge Bazaar Davao, and I have a great feeling that it will be coming out also here in Cebu. And I was right. And this is Challenger Deep by Neil Shusterman. You know, I'm a big fan of Neil Shusterman after The Sight, Thunderhead, Everlost. So I got this one. This is a contemporary with a slash of science fiction. So it's a mix of, it's something to do with, you know, mental health. So I actually don't know anything about this one. But I trust the award and I trust the author, so I'm very excited to read this one. Next book that I have is another contemporary. This is a very, very new book, and I was quite surprised it is being sold on a very, very cheap price. And this is The Serpent King by Jeff Zetner. So when I saw this one, I just grabbed it. I picked the best copies there with no thorns and folds, and yeah, never let this one go. Megan Spooner's Hunter. A Hunter or Hunted, sorry, Hunted. This was published last year, 2017, and the second book for this trilogy just came out. No, it came out a couple of weeks ago, so this is still an ongoing series. So I was quite surprised that again, this is on sale. This is very, very new, untouched, and very, very cheap. This is a remaking or a retelling of Brave with meets Beauty and the Beast, something like that. So if I'm in the mood to read something medieval plot or story or feels story, and then I'll probably pick this one up. I got this on the third day of the Book Binge Bazaar, and this is Honor Among Thieves. So yeah, I came back every day for the entire 5 days of Book Binge Bazaar just to really hunt. Actually waiting for Eliza and her monsters, and a lot of things I expected na it will come out also in Book Binge Bazaar Cebu, but they did not. So I can conclude that the selection or the book selection in the Book Binge Bazaar Davao was way, way better than Cebu. And then this one is Honor Among Thieves. This is a new one. This was published this year lang. A couple of earlier this year. So I'm really quite surprised why are they on sale since this was published already this year. Yeah, this is a science fiction young adult. This is about a young criminal he is supposed to be on jail, but instead he was part of the 100 people being trained to be sent to, you know, for an adventure across the galaxy to look for a new place. So the next book that I have is Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett. This is a very new book. It's a young adult fantasy published 2017. The next book of the series will be published next year, early or the first quarter of 2019. This is very new, again untouched, for 175 hardbound, and it has quite interesting story. It's about a rivalry of two sisters becoming who's the stronger magician, sorcerer. So it's something to do with magic and adventure. So if I'm in a mood to read the story which the protagonists or the characters are traveling from one place to the next place, then this might be the perfect, you know, book for me to read. A Drop to Drink by Mindy McGuinness. I love Mindy McGuinness. The first book I've read from her is The Female of the Species. I've read this earlier this year and I love it. It's a contemporary, a very dark contemporary. And this one is a young adult thriller. I'm quite excited to pick this one up. This is about a post-apocalyptic where a mother trying to raise his child or girl in a swamp where that is the only source of water in several radius of miles. So she's trying to protect the swamp and also raise his daughter because water is very scarce. So yeah, something to do with his thriller. The next book that I have here is actually a trilogy, and I'm very, very happy to have this one. And this is the Mirador Trilogy by Dan Wells. You know, guys, I'm a big fan of Dan Wells. I love his partials, fragments, and ruins. And there's actually a lot of ruins copy there, and I was like, oh, why? So going back, this is the Mirador series. I got the first book for 125, and the second one and the third one for 175. So this is a sci-fi, a futuristic novel by Dan Wells. You know, Dan Wells is really, and also his brother Robinson Wells really likes to write stories about science fiction stories because they're a big fan of Star Wars, I think. This one is, I actually read this one. I finished this yesterday. This is the first book I have read out of this book haul, and I was not that happy. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Because maybe I have high expectations from Dan Wells after being a big fan of his partial trilogy. The second book is Ones and Zeros. This came out last year, and I don't have any idea if I'm going to read this next, or I'll probably read this next year now. And the third book is Active Memory, and this was released this year lang, couple of months ago. So this is very, very new, and still I'm surprised that this was released this year and why is it on sale. Frontline Trilogy by Michael Grant. For you guys who don't know Michael Grant, he is the author of the Gun series, which is Gun, Hunger, Light. I forgot. There's 7 actually in the series. I only have Gun, and I've only read Gun. That's the first book that I got from my Laking National card back in first year college. And yeah, when I saw this one, I did not expect that it will be complete. Even though the first book is, I bought this for 125 pesos because it's a paperback. The rest is Silver Stars and Purple Hearts. These are for 175 pesos. So I got the entire trilogy. I checked the reviews. They were really, really great. So yeah, I'm so happy that I completed the trilogy. So this talks about 3 girls who was sent during the World War II. They are going to defend, I mean, they're on the American side and they're going to battle Germans and other alliances of Germans. So I don't really have any idea. And I hope there will be more Book Binge Bazaar coming in a couple of months from now, and maybe better book selections. Book selections like you gave book selections like the one from Davao, I think. So here, it's good. It's very heavy. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye. Bye bye. Bukat na kayo. Okay.